So, what words of wisdom would you have for any new coaches who struggle with structure or don't really like the process?
Like struggle with having too much structure.
Yeah, feeling
Hmm.
boxed in and want to feel that they
Hmm.
need to use that creativity.
Yeah, I'd say try it. Try the ideas that you have, and especially if you can record if you have permission to record the session, try it out and then listen to it and see what works, what doesn't work. I love the idea of experimenting and seeing, I have this tool or I have this idea. I want to break this tool. I want to go in this other direction. I think those are really useful ideas. Those are useful things to do and try, but do it mindfully, not just because of the sake of doing it without having a way to reflect on it, look at the usefulness of it, not usefulness of it. I do think in terms of structure, the time model, I feel like that's a really useful structure. I know some coaches feel like that, setting a topic, looking at the importance of it, the measurability, then echoing it back to a client. I feel like that's just a good practice. Aside from that, if a coach feels stuck in any one of the tools or exercises that we're doing between, let's say, perspective work, and you're doing, okay, we've now identified the topic. Now we're going to try to you know, create a little bit of distance between the topic and the perspective. I mean, if that starts to feel cumbersome, then I would just throw it out, but mindfully, and in a way that you can go back and listen to it and say, yeah, this is great, or no, this is not good.
I like that, doing it mindfully. And the reason I wanted to explore it with you, John, because John likes to try new ideas and
I
experiment all the
do.
time.
I do. I feel like the people asking these questions are very like, yeah, like they are my people. Like I'm in there too. I also bulk a little bit at too much structure in coaching sessions. NLP has even more structure in these sessions. Therapy, I don't know. I mean, I don't, and these are all. It's not all monolithic either. Like there are way different kinds of modalities, different kinds of therapies, different kind of coaching styles. It's important for you to find your own, find what works for you, and be able to communicate that accurately to potential clients.
So there's befriending that structure, but there's also permission to be you and be creative and step into that space.
Right, right, right.
I guess sometimes it can depend on the area that you're coaching in. What do you think about? Because I know I'm an executive coach, and structure is expected in the services that I provide as well. That kind of framework. A lot of the execs that I work with like it, and maybe are too structured at times. What are your thoughts about different coaching industries or niches?
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with the coach too. Like you know what works for you as a coach, and then what also works for your clients. And it's the kind of training that we offer. I think it allows for that. You're finding your own style, you're finding your own place in the coaching world, and but that doesn't mean that it's the end all either. Like I don't want coaches to feel like, oh, okay, if I'm like, this is the only way for me to coach. Like that's not the purpose. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. It's more around giving people a range of, okay, this is the range, this is the menu, this is the this is what the ICF says, this is what the health board says, this is what other coaches have done. You want to be in a spot where your coaching style and the kinds of questions that you ask, the kinds of exercises that you choose are done for a specific purpose for the benefit of the client, not done because you just don't feel comfortable going in this other direction, so you're just going to choose the more comfortable direction. That's what you want to avoid as a coach. So if the structure is uncomfortable, then that's an interesting question to say. Like, what about this feels uncomfortable to me? Like maybe I would encourage coaches to try staying exactly with the structure in practice sessions, not like real coaching sessions, but you connect with your colleagues. They both know what's going to happen. Try it and see. what will happen? Because oftentimes some coaches will say, look, I really want to give advice. I am committed to giving advice. I signed up for this to give advice. I really want to tell people what to do. People have said that to me in coaching. In coaching, that is not that is anathema to the idea of coaches being curious and being the student of the client. But let's try it. See what happens. If you do give that advice, and let's also see what happens if temporarily you suspend that completely and go with curiosity 100% of the time, using no tool, just asking curious questions. What happens? And that would be my encouragement, is just to try what happens on both ends of the spectrum and see. So you can develop comfortability with all of it. And then when I'm in a coaching session, frankly, like I'm asking myself, I have 5 different options I can choose. When I'm asking myself, what do I think is going to be most useful for my client? Just simply asking that question is there's no real right answer. There might be more useful answers, but it doesn't matter. Just by asking yourself the question and choosing something, you're in a good spot as a coach.
I love that. Try and see, experiment, explore. Thanks, John.